We will call to order the August 20th, 2026 regular board meeting of the Folsom Cordova Unified School District. Ms. Rochelle, if you'd call roll.
Mr. Chalem-Turla?
Here.
Mr. Clark?
Here.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Here.
Mr. Reed?
Here.
Ms. Larrett?
Here.
All are present.
Okay, we will, do we have any public comment?
Yes, Mr. Smith?
Good evening, Board. Madam President, Mr. Swanson. My public comment is to your closed session. You guys will discuss number 3A, pupil record change appeal. I believe, well, first let me say, quite a few parents, we've been meeting. Quite a few parents are unhappy with instruction or support, I would say more specifically of students with instruction. With the concept, there's a teachers union, there's a labor union, and some parents have thrown out the idea, what about a parent union? What about the parents going together, putting some money in, having dues, maybe hire an attorney to represent the parents in the best interest of the children? So with that said, I know that this issue here is sparked out of that, and it's specifically on 2 ed codes that give the authorization to parents to challenge a grade or challenge the record. With that said, jazz band, if you hold an audition, deny a student from that class, when it's a curricular class, I have had Faith's records pulled. There is nothing indicating her denial. So that violates my parent and my child's due process to challenge a teacher. I also want to put out in the fact that when a student takes a class or tries to take a class and the teacher says that that student is failing or not at the standard level that the teacher says they're at, and that student takes that class at a community college that's at a higher level. For instance, I've sent you guys all of Faith's transcripts, and you've seen multiple classes where she took at the community college level that was a lot harder than the classes at Folsom High music program. More repertoire, harder repertoire, but yet the teacher says she wasn't at standard. We gotta think about the fact that our taxes pays for this district. You guys are supposed to provide a service to the children for the parents. And if the teachers are assessing the student as they're failing and they take an AP class or they take a college class and they ace it, if it's an AP test, they get a 5 or a 4, it's unjust. So I'm just urging you guys as board members to do your due diligent and seek a resolution to support the student versus the teacher or the teachers union. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Are there any other comments? None received.
We will be adjourning to closed session where we will be discussing student matters, employer-employee relations, conference with legal counsel on litigation, conference with real property negotiators, and personnel matters. And with that, we will recess to closed session. Okay. We will call to order the August 20th, 2026 regular board meeting of the Folsom Cordova Unified School District. Ms. Rochelle, if you call roll.
Ms. Wallace?
Present.
Ms. Davies?
Present.
Mr. Chalem-Turla?
Present.
Mr. Clark?
Here.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Here.
Mr. Reed?
Here.
Ms. Larrett?
Here.
All are present.
Start with our land acknowledgement.
As a Folsom Cordova Unified School District, we acknowledge that our administrative facilities and schools occupy the unceded territory of the Nishanan and Miwok, the original people of the skies, land, and waters where we learn and work.
We also recognize the presence and ancestral stewardship of the Nishanan ancestral tribes, the Esto, Notamuse, and Nisim Pewanon to the north.
And the Miwok ancestral tribes, the Amakumne, Consumne, Hopumne, and Makumne to the south along the Great Sacramento River system since time immemorial.
We understand that this land, upon which our institutions are built, was once flourishing with natural resources and sustained by the ancestral knowledge and practices of these indigenous communities.
We acknowledge the injustices of colonialism and attempted genocide that have impacted these communities and recognize the resilience of their descendants who continue to thrive today.
In our daily endeavors of teaching, learning, leadership, and community engagement, we commit to supporting, respecting, and honoring their culture, traditions, and life ways.
We pledge to work together for the evolving vision of the Miwok and Isian, especially all future generations.
Thank you. If you would stand and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. A broadcast and recording is being made at the direction of the board, and the broadcast may capture images and sounds of those attending the meeting. Tonight's meeting is being live streamed on the district's YouTube channel. The recording will be cablecast as replays on Metro Cable Channel 14, the Local Government Affairs channel on the Comcast and DirecTV U-verse cable systems. The recording will also be closed captioned and video streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Folsom Cordova Unified School District Board Policy 1313 promotes mutual respect, civility, and orderly conduct among employees, parents, and the public. We will treat staff, parents, and members of the public with respect and ask the same in return. If any member of the public uses obscenities or communicates in a demanding, loud, insulting, or demeaning manner, the board will calmly and politely admonish the person to communicate civilly. Public comments during board meetings are an important component of public engagement and transparency. Public comment will be limited to the subject matter of agenda items. Comments on the subject matter not listed on the agenda will be limited to the period of time reserved on the agenda for general public comment and should be relevant to subject matter within the jurisdiction of the board or district. Members of the public will not be permitted to yield their speaking time to another member of the public. All written comments submitted by 2 p.m. today to the board have been read. Per the Brown Act, the board is not allowed to enter in a two-way discussion on any matter not on the agenda. Okay, we'll move on to item E, reporting out closed session. Superintendent?
Yes, Madam President, the board made a decision on one complaint and gave direction to council.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we will move on to item F, adoption of agenda. Moved by Mr. Clark,
A second?
second by Mr. Chalem-Chella.
Ms. Wallace?
Aye.
Ms. Davies?
Yes?
Mr. Chalem-Churla?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Move on to item G, celebration and recognition. And it'll be our installation of student board members Janine Wallace, Cordova High Senior, and Sam Davies, Folsom High School Junior.
This is an exciting time. Are you two ready? You want to join me down there? Okay, come on. All right, I'm going to administer the oath of office to student board member to the Board of Education. So please raise your right hand. I state your name,
I, Sam
Janine Wallace,
Davies,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against enemies, foreign and domestic,
against enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation for purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation for purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Welcome to the Board of Education. You did so good. You're in for a picture. Invite the board down to take a picture with our new student board members. Oh, it doesn't say.
Sometimes they say state your name. Smile pretty because this picture is really like on your,
This is the headline picture for tomorrow's newsletter.
Okay, all right, look up here.
And is there anybody in the audience who wants to get a picture? Okay, stay right there. Please stand up and get a picture. Yeah.
come on, Amy.
Can we do this, another picture with the advisors? Yes, please. No. So close, but no. You guys are more.
So Sean, you come right here, so you're gonna stand next to your student rep.
There we go, there we go. Oh. That's pretty good, that's pretty good, all right. Jeez, look here. 1 second, and that's the money shot right there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, advisors.
I love it.
It's one of our best days of the year.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, we'll move on to item H, agenda consent. Does not look like we have anything that needs to be pulled. So with that, I will entertain a motion.
I'll move all items.
Do we need to pull the student matters?
That's under a different section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Old habits.
I'll move.
Ramos, I second.
Okay.
That's fine.
Moved by Ms. Lofthouse, second by Ms. Chalm-Trilla.
Ms. Wallace?
Yeah.
Aye.
Ms. Davies?
Aye.
Mr. Chalem-Churla?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Superintendent?
Yeah, thank you so much. We have a few fun announcements based on the board approving the consent agenda. Folsom Cordova is pleased to welcome Frances Thompson, come on up, Frances, as the new assistant principal of Williamson Elementary School for the 26-27 school year. Mrs. Thompson brings 30 years of educational experience serving as a teacher, instructional coach, assistant principal, and principal. Most recently, she served as principal of Sutterville Elementary School in Sacramento City Unified, where she led a diverse TK through 6 community and supported the implementation of a school-wide full inclusion model focused on rigorous instruction, intervention, and belonging for every student. Throughout her career, Mrs. Thompson has been committed to building schools where strong relationships, High expectations and equity work together to help students thrive. She believes effective leadership begins with knowing students, supporting teachers, partnering with families, and ensuring every child feels seen and valued. Mrs. Thompson holds a Bachelor of Arts in Humanities from Cal State Northridge and a Master of Arts in Curriculum and Instruction from Chapman University. Please join us in welcoming Frances Thompson to Team FCUSD as the next Williamson Elementary Assistant Principal.
Thank you. I'm excited to be a part of a reputable district that encourages growth and supports their communities, families, students, and employees. In my 30 years in education, I've realized the importance of serving a community and building positive relationships. So I look forward to continuing that passion at Williamson Elementary School and with the team of FCUSD. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Frances. All right. Folsom Cordova is pleased to announce Kristen Lobeck as the Assistant Principal of Rancho Cordova Elementary School for the 26-27 school year. Come on up, Kristen. Kristen brings more than 30 years of educational experience to FCUSD, most recently serving as a teacher on special assignment and acting site administrator in Western Placer Unified School District. During her career, she spent 28 years as a classroom teacher in dual language immersion, newcomer, and general education settings. Her leadership experience includes instructional coaching, professional learning, DLI program coordination, and partnering with staff and families to support student achievement and a positive school culture. Fluent in English and Spanish, Kristen is a passionate advocate for multilingual learners and family engagement. Her leadership is grounded in listening, collaboration, and creating culturally and linguistically responsive environments where every student feels known, valued, and capable of success. Kristen holds a Bachelor of Arts in Chicano Studies from UC Santa Barbara. Please join us in welcoming Kristen Lobeck to Team FCUSD and Rancho Cordova Elementary.
Good evening, President Larrett, board members, Superintendent Swanson, and members of the FCUSD community. I'm so excited to serve as the proud new assistant principal of Rancho Cordova Elementary School, and I am truly honored and grateful for this opportunity. I also really look forward to all of the wonderful experiences and relationships that I will have the privilege to build in the FCUSD and RCE community, the Rancho Cordova Elementary community, as a new RAM. I'm super excited to be at such a ramazing school. Thank you.
Very nice. Folsom Cordova is pleased to announce Ms. Carmelita Goldsby as the Coordinator of Early Childhood Education for the 26-27 school year. Ms. Goldsby brings more than 25 years of public education experience in Northern California. Most recently, she served as assistant principal at Rancho Cordova Elementary. Prior to joining FCUSD, she served as an elementary principal in Lodi Unified and began her career as a primary grade teacher in Oakland Unified, where her passion for early literacy and educational equity began. Ms. Goldsby is deeply committed to creating equitable, inclusive, and high-quality learning opportunities for our youngest learners, with a particular focus on expanding opportunities for early literacy success. She holds a Bachelor of Arts in History and a Master of Arts in Educational Leadership from UC Berkeley, along with extensive experience in developmentally appropriate early learning spaces. Fluent in Spanish and a proud Rancho Cordova resident of 18 years, Ms. Goldsby brings both professional expertise and a strong connection to our community. Please join us in welcoming Ms. Carmelita Goldsby to her new role with Team FCUSD.
Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent Swanson, Board President Larrett, and members of our Board of Education for the second opportunity to serve in my adopted hometown of Rancho Cordova. My journey started with very humble beginnings. I am the granddaughter and daughter of farm workers, farmers, factory workers, and a retired veteran of the U.S. Navy. My father was actually raised on a cotton farm in Louisiana, picking cotton from the age of 9. I believe it's a privilege and responsibility to give back to my community. In short, I'm a working mom who wants to do right by the children in my home and in my community. Thanks again, and I look forward to expanding opportunities for our youngest learners.
Folsom Cordova is pleased to announce Kayla Yates as the interim principal of Cordova Villa Elementary School for the 26-27 school year. Let's give her a round of applause. Mrs. Yates is a dedicated FCUSD educator and a Rancho Cordova native who is committed to instructional equity, strong relationships, and creating an inclusive environment where every student can thrive. During her career in FCUSD, she has served as an assistant principal, new teacher coach, English language development intervention specialist, general and special education teacher, and a district equity leader. As an FCUSD alum, legacy, did you get you have your pin already?
I don't, but.
Okay. Kim, do you have your pin on? Okay. As an FCUSD alum, Mrs. Yates brings a deep understanding of and connection to our community. She is committed to fostering collaboration, respect, and continuous growth while supporting the academic and social emotional success of every student. Mrs. Yates holds a Bachelor of Arts in Liberal Studies with a concentration in Ethnic Studies from Sacramento State, teaching credentials in multiple subjects and mild moderate disabilities, and an Administrative Services credential, and a Master of Science in Applied Leadership. Please join us in welcoming Mrs. Yates to her new role at Cordova Villa Elementary School.
Good evening, President Lorette, board members, Superintendent Swanson, and members of our community. Thank you for the opportunity to serve as the interim principal of Cordova Villa Elementary School. I am truly honored and grateful for the trust you have placed in me. As a Rancho Cordova native and a FCUSD alumna, this opportunity feels especially meaningful. To have the chance to serve the students, families, and staff of this community is something that I do not take lightly. I'm excited to listen, to learn, and to build alongside the incredible people who make Cordova Villa such a special place. There is a lot of change happening at our school, both literally and figuratively. We're under construction right now, so. And I am grateful to be a part of that work. Thank you to the board and the district leadership for your confidence in me. I'm excited for the year ahead, and most importantly, to have the opportunity to serve our Hawks. And as I love to say, every day is a great day to soar like a hawk.
We move on to item I, public comment. Time will be given to speakers at the discretion of the board chairperson. The law allows the public to address the board on any matter not on the agenda, but the law prohibits action by the board on non-agenda items.
Yes, if we could have Mr. Harris come to the podium, followed by Mr. Ruiz. Mr. Ruiz, if you can come to the podium. Followed by Mr. Smith.
By the way, I just want to point out, Kayla was my student at Cordova High School, and so I don't know when I got this old.
Wow.
Yikes. Okay. Hi, everybody. Tony Ruiz from Vista, and I wanted to speak about the graduation change. I find this change both kind of disappointing and kind of infuriating for a couple of reasons. Disappointing in that it kind of represents a way FCUSD used to be, which was decisions were made top down and nobody else was included in the decision. I actually found out about this from a parent, and the bigger problem to me is that nobody knows why this change is happening. The kids are not happy about it. The parents are not happy about it. The staff is not happy about it. Giving finals before, or graduating before finals are even done, maybe other districts do it. Great, wonderful, thrilling. That's not us, all right? Our kids are, especially at Vista, I've been at Vista for 17 years. You don't take a school that's almost 20 years old and change something without there being a process put in place to investigate what are the logistics going to look like, how are teachers going to go to a graduation on a Wednesday night, not get done till 9:30 at night, not get home, then come back and have to grade finals, give finals. We still have grading that we have to do. I don't understand it. The only reason anybody has given me for this is the fact that some people want to go to multiple graduations, and while I sympathize with that, alternate. But ultimately, the graduation is not about dignitaries. It's about the students. And the fact that this decision was made without contacting students, without talking to parents, without talking to staff, who are going to have to change the way we have always done things, and to still, we're in the school year and we don't know how this is going to look. How are teachers who have mixed classes, who have juniors and seniors or sophomores, juniors and seniors, how are they going to administer final exams? How are teachers who teach only seniors, like me? I have 5 sections of seniors this year. And what am I going to do? It's not fair for me to be done before everybody else. That's not equitable for the staff. So I really do urge the board, if this is a direction we want to go, let's investigate it. Let's get stakeholders involved. Let's get students and teachers and parents on board so we can understand the why, so we can understand how this is going to look. But as it stands now, people are just confused and, quite frankly, among my staff, angry. And our staff is usually never angry at each other. But there is a certain degree of frustration going on. And I don't like that. So my suggestion, let's table this for a year and start the process of looking into it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ruiz. Mr. Smith, followed by Mr. Harris.
Good evening, board, Madam President, Mr. Swanson. To the gentleman that just spoke, I mean, this is going my 3rd year showing up at board meetings, almost every single one, spending a year before that watching all of them. And it's every year it's the same story. So I echo what you said. And it comes down to communication, maturity. Welcome, student board members. Faith, she don't want to come here anymore after that incident in May 2021. You know, she had an entire breakdown up here and there was no support. Just cold from the board. So she's done. She hates Folsom at this point. She can't wait to get out of here. I do see a lot of decisions made in this community and they say, oh, well, just go to FLC. Oh, you go to FLC to save money. Go to community college to save money. You know, there's a lot of students that are high achievers, have big dreams. And as a community, as a district, as a board, you're supposed to support the student. A whole year goes by, and it broke my heart watching students come up here talking about mental health crisis in AP Physics. And then seeing the result of that. Now, I say all of that because Faith worked her ass off. I got as much therapy as I could afford. She fought through all the emotional turmoil, trying to keep her grades at a high level. Sophomore year, all Bs. But getting accepted to UCLA, we were so excited. But because I'm Choctaw, I thought the nation would pay for her education. We didn't have to use it. She's going for free. I ain't gotta pay nothing. Dorms, meals, books. Music department waited to see how much scholarship she would get and then capped it out. University Pacific did the same thing. John Hopkins did the same thing, full ride. But yet she wasn't good enough to be in the jazz band. She's playing jazz violin. They give her full ride, playing jazz violin. Big bands are welcoming her. You need to support the students first. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Harris?
Yeah, Jackie Robinson. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another school year. Hope you guys are ready to have some fun, right? Ready to learn, ready to grow, ready to help others. I know I always am. I'll pick up where this gentleman left off at. For the students. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm always here. It's for the students. I think everybody knows I'm always for the students. love students. I was a student, you all were a student, some of you are still students, and some we all relate. It's probably why we all like the jobs that we're in. With that said, I'm also here to request to meet with you guys, specifically the superintendent or any of the board members. I would like to request to meet with you guys. I've sent my meeting request via email, but I understand you guys, your superior titles, that those emails may not always make them to you. You guys may have others that may look through them, may or may not, I'm not sure. But with that said, I'm understanding if my little old email from someone like me who just wants to help the students might have got overlooked. In the event that it did, that's why I showed up here in person to ask if I can meet with you guys. So I'd like to meet with you guys about some of the other things I also addressed in my email to you guys. Reason being is that I did get a reply, and again, I understand it may not have been directly from you, but someone who oversees all the emails and gave me a general reply. But it said that you guys were aware of the situation. And that didn't sit too well with me. I didn't see how you guys could be aware with it or aware of it, but then continue to allow it to take place. Thank you. Take your time with that. I agree. That's how it felt when it hit me. I had to jump out with it too. But nonetheless, yeah, man, I hope that we can meet and talk about some of the things that you guys may or may not been aware of. So that way we can help the students, because that's what it's all about. I know last year I had come here also kind of mentioned some things that took place. And I am happy to hear that although while I was teaching, I was told that those things cannot happen, will not happen. We will not help you do it. You need to figure it out yourself. However, those are now the norms of this year. So I'm very happy to see that. Again, those are some of the things that I'd like to address with you is that when I was there, I was told, no, we can't do it, it's not gonna happen, but those are now in play. So I'm most happiest about that because a lot of my things, as you may or may not know, were to keep the children safe. So safety, you know, it's very important with me, as I'm sure it is with all of you. And to our two new members over here, Janine and Sam, I'd like to say welcome, and I hope you make the most of this opportunity. And I encourage you to ask questions that may get overlooked, because you guys will have that inside opportunity to do so. And then you can really start learning more about these meetings. All right, have a good one, you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Thank you.
Are there any other public comments? Those are all I've received.
Thank you. On to item J, reports of district organizations, and we will start with our Student Advisory Board, SAB.
Oh, there we go. We are excited to announce that we're excited for the next meeting, pretty much. It's on September 10th, on that Thursday, and we're excited for it. We're ready. We're preparing.
Okay. We will move on then to California School Employees Association, CSEA.
Rob had sent us an email. It's in our inbox. He's had a family emergency, so all of our good thoughts and good vibes heading out to Rob tonight.
Mistake. Okay, we'll move on to Folsom Cordova Education Association, FCEA.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. All right, good evening, family, board members, staff, and teachers. First of all, thank you for the first board meeting being a little later than the month. It gave everybody a breath to start the year, so thank you very much. We only have one board meeting this month, so welcome to all the new administrators announced tonight and to all the new staff members this year. Today is the 11th day of school, and 2 weeks ago we started with over 22,000 students and a little above 1,300 certificated staff. We did have a few hiccups, but they're being worked out collaboratively, which is always FCEA's preferred method. Just a few items to report tonight. CTA is rallying the troops to approve Proposition 3, the extension of Proposition 30. These monies estimated by CTA now account for $60 million of our district budget. I don't know about you, but that's a very scary number. All of our partners throughout FCUSD's families, staff, and even students need to herald the positive voice for this passage of this proposition. If it does not pass this election cycle, we will only have a few more cycles to convince voters that our district will be devastated by the removal of these funds. Secondly, next week, the negotiation team led by Tracy Suter will be presenting our counteroffer to the district's May proposal. On August 10th, Erica Swanson confirmed that our staff members go above and beyond to ensure our students are receiving the best education. Some of these inspiring words were used. Throughout the summer, our teachers, support staff, administrators, district members worked hard to prepare for the start. This year, we remain committed to providing every student with exceptional education experience. That begins with ensuring our classrooms are places where the students are challenged, supported, and inspired every day. Again, there will be moments of great success, and there may be times when students or families need a little extra support. Our teachers, classified staff, principals, counselors, and support teams are here to partner with you every step of the way. And a host of other comments that made it clear that expectations for staff are high, and we are just not dialing it in. Therefore, it is reasonable that our certificated staff have expectations of you, the board, to direct the district negotiation team, not to just dial it in. The reality is that the rate of inflation was 3.5% for the past 12 months, ending in June. And with the uncertainty of world events, we don't know where it will end this year. With the rise of inflation also comes with the work of retaining teachers. And even though this year was better, we still have work to do. Compensation and benefits are a large components of why staff is willing to work for FCUSD. Additionally, there is a teacher shortage, and we will need to put our best offer on the table to mitigate that issue. It is our hope that we will reach an agreement that leaves members feeling respected and esteemed with more than just words, but as a true value partners in education. In closing, to all the very tired members who are dealing with all the trials and tribulations of starting a new school year, know that FCA sees you and appreciates all that you do for your students. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to Folsom Cordova Leadership Association, FCLA.
Good evening, Board Superintendent. FCLA wants to welcome the new leaders that were just announced tonight. Very exciting. Our leaders are in full swing driving data-driven improvements to their sites, departments, and systems. We, in partnership with CSEA and FCA this summer, started and closed a lot of facility technology and other system improvements that now and we'll see through the year at Villa and Cordova High, and all the things will be coming together. We wanted to celebrate, SPED has been doing some paraprofessional trainings at our elementary cohorts that were brought up and celebrated in a recent meeting with the superintendent. We definitely wanted to acknowledge those efforts, and the leaders of those sites were very excited for the outcomes of those trainings. And we are looking forward to a good year. Oh, and also we have AXA training this Saturday for all leaders. So, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, there's no report from DLAC, so we'll move on to our board committees, starting with district facilities.
Sure, I have an update on that. Yeah. We had our first meeting of the school year on August 10th. Our meetings are usually 60 minutes, but it was an hour and a half for the first one. Mostly updates from staff on a number of our projects that we have going on within the district, as well as seeking some potential guidance on some others. We spoke about Rancho Cordova Elementary School, which would probably be most likely the next elementary school that will see substantial renovations in Rancho Cordova once Cordova Villa is finished. They will be getting some new buildings, but we will also be, I think the technical word was good bones, that the existing buildings are pretty solid. The board members sought to make sure that what that meant for the existing buildings, which was basically complete and total renovation of the buildings, including new windows, the roofing, the breezeway renovations. It would basically look like a brand new campus. Plus, it will have some new construction as well. Let's see. We also talked about just not all the items we have are sexy items. We were talking about some of the cleanup issues that we have at some of our sites following sporting events. So we talked about that a little bit. Got an update on the Folsom High School parking lot, where I think we mentioned it at a prior meeting. We're in a 2-year update of the high school's parking lot. We are doing some beta testing this year with directional to see how it works, and if successful, some permanent improvements will be made over the next summer. Got an update on Rocky Ridge Elementary School and the grading that's been going on there. I was just up there about a week ago. It's flat. I can testify it's a so, and we're engaging in land negotiations for the parcel. Also received updates on Buffalo Creek High School, Granite Springs Elementary School sites. Also an update on the maintenance site. We have some issues there that we're looking at upgrading as well. Let's see, what else did we talk about? Had a conversation about Prospect Park update. This is the Three Rivers Innovation Academy and some of the issues that we are diligently working through with the state to try to get state approval so that we can purchase that facility. As you will recall, the Three Rivers Innovation Academy would be the small high school concept that we're looking at opening, and the board actually voted to open in Rancho Cordova. Let's see, some contractor information. I know YK wanted to, the facilities committee to make sure what information we're getting when bids coming in. So we just made sure that YK's concerns were addressed, and they are. And then an update on Vista Del Lago, the addition of the 2 portables that were added this summer, plans for 3 additional portables next summer to help alleviate overcrowding while we wait for the new high school to be built. And then just an update on a couple of items from our June agenda, including issues relating to shade trees, some improvements at some of the sites. And then also issue with Natoma Station Elementary School that I had raised. We are looking at making some adjustments to the gates to make it easier to well, right now it's padlocked. They're going to go from padlocks to crash bars on some of the gates and provide direct access to the administrative offices by readjusting the fence line so that the front gate can remain locked during school hours. Like I said, that was a big agenda. That was a long update, but it's a good start to the new year. A lot of exciting things are in the works. So.
Yeah, I would just like to add, I mean, honestly, the renderings for Rancho Cordova Elementary are beautiful and amazing, and I just can't wait to get started. Can't wait to see what Villa will look like when it's finished and get started on RCE. And I think that community is going to be really excited about the improvements because it really looks like a completely different place. It's beautiful. So, okay, we'll move on to Policy Committee.
Talk on it. We met yesterday and we went through about 10 policies. Some of them overlapped from different groups of employees, so it didn't last an hour and a half. And we will be seeing them. They'll come to the board meeting on the 17th of September, so they'll be coming forward at that point. And they were all CSBA updates, so.
Fantastic. Okay, moving on to special education. Any updates on that one? Okay, we will move on then. Fantastic. Okay, we'll move on to item K, which is public hearing discussion action. Number 1 is approve stipulated expulsion reentry recommendation case number 2526-3S. And just a reminder that our students will abstain.
Ms. Wallace?
Abstain.
Ms. Davies?
Well, we need a motion.
Sorry, myself.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Ms. Lofthouse, second by Mr. Clark.
Ms. Wallace?
Abstain.
Ms. Davies?
Abstain.
Mr. Challen-Churla?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, we will move on to item 2, approve stipulated expulsion reentry recommendation, case number 2526-11S. Entertain a motion.
I'll move.
Moved by Ms. Challen-Churla,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Lofthouse.
Ms. Wallace?
Abstain.
Ms. Davies?
Abstain.
Mr. Challen-Churla?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Hey,
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay, moving on to item 3, superintendent, assistant superintendent contract requirements.
I will invite Mr. Bird up to the podium to explain this item.
Yeah, we've started a new school year, obviously, and as a result, our superintendent and our assistant superintendents are moving up a step on the salary schedules. Pursuant to Government Code Section 54953, we are required to orally report this in open session prior to the board taking final action on it. I think we've got the details and the specifics of what's happening with those salaries, and looking for the approval on that in the motion.
Yeah, could we open up item 3 so that I can read the steps and call?
Just to clarify, this is new because this past year we moved towards doing the steps in the salary on a calendar, like, or a schedule.
That's correct.
And it was not prior to that, right?
It's been a requirement to do this.
Requirement, but the actual increase with the steps
The
is
steps
new.
was new from last year, yeah,
Correct.
for sure.
Okay.
And Martha, can you pull back the rationale? That's the attachment, and then right there.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yep, so I just want to go ahead and read out. We have Eric Swanson, superintendent, range AD1, step 4 to step 5 at $334,184. Sean Martin, assistant superintendent, CBO, range AD, step 2, step 9 to step 10 at $269,096. Dr. James Huber, assistant superintendent, range AD3, step 12 to step 13 at $264,571, and Dr. Shauna Pitt, assistant superintendent, range AD3, step 10 to step 11 at $256,865. And with that, I will entertain a motion.
Point of order.
Yes.
I'm all for it, Eric and the rest of his team, but when we do this, I want you to keep in mind as the teachers' contracts are coming up and classified staff that we do our due diligence to make sure that they're taken care of as well. With that, I will move to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Clark.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Lofthouse.
Ms. Wallace?
Aye.
Ms. Davies? Aye. Mr. Shalom Churla?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item 4, public hearing and adopt resolution number 08-20-26-03, 2026-2027 sufficiency of textbooks and instructional materials.
It's a public
So this is
hearing.
the Williams Act, but we're going to gavel into the
Gavel
hearing,
out.
gavel out, and it's all the one item.
yeah,
now.
sorry.
Yep, no, you're good.
We got a new thing on our agenda this way. We were doing it.
awesome.
So sorry, I gotta open the public hearing. Wasn't looking at the screen. Okay, so public hearing is opened. And any public comment on the public hearing?
You know what you need?
Good, okay. Any public comment on this?
No public comments received.
With that, we will go ahead and,
So now we go to the resolution.
Yep.
I would love to invite Dr. Huber up, just if there's any explanation needing. It's a standard item. This is from the Williams-Valenzuela Act. The board is resolving that we will have adequate facilities and adequate textbooks for all of our students. Jim, did I just steal your thunder?
That pretty much sums it up.
Okay.
And we've done quite well, and we had an outstanding surprise visit, actually, and we're giving some feedback. It was the best surprise visit the county office has ever done in
That was
terms
there
of.
at Cordova Gardens earlier this week on Monday. They have scheduled visits, they being the county office, to schedule visits for Williams Valenzuela, which our students know all about. I taught them about it yesterday. And they do also surprise visits or a visit, and they visited Cordova Gardens without notice and literally said to the team there that it was their best surprise visit they've ever completed, so.
So no deficiencies found?
None.
Awesome, congratulations.
Good shape.
Team works really hard. What is the name, I'm so sorry, trustee, what is the name of our, and not to put you on the spot, Angie, what is the name of our textbook materials teammate? Hannah Rosemeyer Bohan, which I honor her on the record. She tirelessly down in our warehouse to make sure all of our schools have all their textbooks. It's one single person doing all that work. She works really, really hard. So
Yes, amazing.
Yeah, question, Dr. Huber. I'm just curious, and I think I asked this last year. Did we have any visits to any of our facilities last year?
Yes, it's part of the Williams audit.
And
Yeah,
how
there
many,
is.
do you remember how many?
Off the top of my head, I'd have to check, but I want to say all the schools that went through a Williams audit, also the physical plants is part of the audit.
Right.
So, but off the top of my head, how many schools that is, I don't know.
And to your recollection, did they have any findings at all on any of them?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
No findings last year. One of the things that I noted for the board, I think in the fall, was the team, I don't know, the audit team.
Well, they normally send out some kind of notification. I think I received one.
Yeah, we had 2 quarterlies today on the consent agenda, but also they'll come throughout the year.
Right.
But last year they continued to complement the condition of our facilities. It was something that they noted that even above and beyond, it was exemplary. But yeah, all materials. We'll get quarterly reports on the consent agenda.
And I know this is pretty routine, so Madam President, if I may, I'd like to make a motion.
Moved by Mr. Clark,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Lofthouse.
Ms. Wallace?
Aye.
Ms. Davies?
Aye.
Mr. Chalem-Churla?
Aye.
Mr. Clark?
Aye.
Ms. Lofthouse?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Ms. Larrett?
Aye.
Motion carries.
With that, I will close the public hearing. Okay, then we will go ahead and move to information. Item 1, Rocky Ridge Elementary School update.
Invite our Chief Operations Officer, Craig Ross, to the podium to talk a little bit about this information item.
Good evening, Board President Larrett, Board of Trustees, Superintendent Swanson. Just to kind of go on, David, what you were talking about earlier, just a Rocky Ridge Elementary School update, basically talking about the construction timeline. And the state agency approval process has now pushed our timeline for starting the construction back to June of 2027. And so what that means is that you're taking a school that takes about 16 months to construct, to compress that schedule down to 13 months in order to open up for 2028 school year. So we were working with the general contractor and say, what does that mean, and what does that take in order to make to knock off 3 months off this construction schedule? So, and working with them, they basically came up with a project schedule where you're combining and overlapping and compressing the project schedule. So not only are you having trades basically working on top of each other, but you're also working 6-7 days a week, which at prevailing wage, overtime gets very expensive. And also a consideration was that there's one hiccup, if there's more rain than anticipated, which we're going to have a tough winter this winter, or material or equipment gets delayed, that could push that schedule and we'll miss the opening of 2028 school year. So, and working with the contractors, and I said, so how much is this going to cost us? So we need a high-level cost estimate of the impact of the financial burden if we went on ahead and even considered building the school in 13 months. And the cost estimate came up anywhere from $7 to $8 million. So, the work that we've done through the schematic design and design phase of this project, we basically value engineered about $7 or $8 million out of this project. So if we were going to move forward and try and build it in that timeline, we would pretty much, take the dollars that we did and saved in value engineering and apply it to the construction cost. So our recommendation would be to open the school in 2029, not have a compressed schedule, and stay with the regular 16-month project schedule, which means the school would open up October, November, not open up, but be completed October, November of 28, and be ready for the school year in 29. And when we did our analysis of this and assessed what enrollment do we have available north of 50 in the schools over there, we do have capacity that would handle the overflow for that extra school year, which helped us in our recommendation to pause for a year, save the dollars, and then open it up in 2029. So I just want to come to the board tonight and just say that this is our recommendation, that we take a pause on this, wait to open in 29 and save those dollars. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, I'm assuming, I'm sorry, Madam President, I'm assuming that this is going to come back as an agenda item and for further discussion, correct? To be voted on? No, we're just moving forward, we're just doing our thing?
Well, there isn't a board action that needs to be taken that I know
Okay,
of
so
in
this
this
is just the
case.
information
We're just
on it?
giving you information about the timing of the school and where we are in the process. I would share that we did originally have a plan to talk more about SFID 3 and Measure M, but we pulled that presentation until after we do seabeds because we're going to be completing a new demographic study. Just so the board is aware, enrollment is we are actually down from seabeds, from prior year seabeds. So we are technically would be considered a decline. We're doing some analysis around that to see what that impact is, if that's going to be a long-term concern or not. And so we want to make sure all those things are in place before we provide any recommendations for the board on next steps. So,
All right, makes sense. All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Greg, I know I was briefly talking to Mr. Swanson. Yes, those two elementary schools on south of 50 is probably one of the most populous elementary schools. Is there a chance to reassess through our facilities team adding some extra space there?
So
for portables for two elementary schools.
So as Sean just mentioned, that we're doing the CBIDS analysis of the enrollment and projected enrollments. And once those numbers come in CBIDS in October, November, I think that will be incorporated in the update.
That's a consideration. That's all I'm saying. That's one of the analysis you guys are going to look at, adding extra space.
Absolutely. We look at all options and assess where the best need would be for the community and the kids based on enrollment projection and where that growth is going. But, what really brought us forward tonight is that we do have capacity north of 50 also to pause this for a year if we ended up going that route.
Right. And yep, I just want to thank you. Not that item you guys took into consideration, expanding the Vista Del Lago, adding 3 additional portables for upcoming school year. I want to sincerely thank you.
Good question, Mr. Martin. CBED's date is what, first or second week of October, right?
Yeah.
And what's the turnaround time that we get notification of the statistics all throughout the state? Is it within a month or so?
Statewide?
Yeah.
No, it's much later than that. We normally have about a little over the month and a half to submit the CBEDS numbers, so we're working in October and November for that. We'll have our estimates for our numbers, though, dialed in by the end of October that we can then use that for the demographic studies. So I'm hoping by November we'll be able to present to the board enough information. So it'll either be November or December, the timeline that we'd be looking at.
Is it possible, I know the board gets weekly updates on enrollment with the superintendent's Friday update. Is it possible when we know our CBED numbers that the board can get a comparison of this year's CBED numbers by facility to last year's CBED numbers?
Sure.
Thank you.
You got it.
All right, we'll move on to item 2, revised staff report, relocation of elementary school number 3 to support enrollment growth in the Folsom planning area.
Invite Mr. Martin up to share on this information item.
Good evening. So this is just a correction statement with regards to a presentation that we did back on May 7th about the decision of moving our next elementary school in the SFID 3 Folsom Ranch area. We, at that time, shared that we were looking at moving the school from the next school location from Granite Springs location, which is more centralized in Folsom Ranch, over to the Rocky Ridge location that was more on the eastern side of our boundaries. But we needed to correct some of the language that was used in the rationale around that. Specifically, a couple of areas that we wanted to make sure that we clarified on. One was we referenced the site as a Toll Brothers site. Toll Brothers is a contractor. They are developing the land around the school location, but they were actually not the owners of the property. And so we needed to correct that and clarify that the school property itself is actually not owned by Toll Brothers. So we wanted to make sure that was clarified. We also included in the rationale that there was concerns around potential benzene vapors. We wanted to clarify on that statement that there is no tests anywhere that have occurred on that site that have shown any benzene at this point. What our statement was around the idea that Department of Toxic Substances asked us to do additional testing because of potential concerns. So we are completing additional testing around that. And at this point, we have not had any tests that I've identified any benzene or benzene vapors on that site. So we wanted to clarify that. Additionally, we shared that the timeline for the build out of the homes in that area was being impacted. And that was an inaccurate statement as well. Toll Brothers was not impacted on their timeline. They were working with the city and their timeline was being met. When we were speaking of the timeline, we were talking about the district's timeline due to the impact of the additional testing around the DTSC work and all of those pieces. So just clarifying that as well. And then just want to also clarify that the decision for the district not to build at Granite Springs versus Rocky Ridge was solely based off of our demographic analysis of where the students were, where the location was of the developments that needed the additional campus. And so it had nothing to do with any of the other perceived concerns that were communicated through the media or other purposes. So just wanted to clarify that. We work with our partners, both the city and our developers and builders, home builders, to ensure that we have the proper information out there for the public. So we just wanted to clarify that, and any confusion that may have caused, we apologize for all the stakeholders involved in that. So thank you guys so much for that time, and any questions you have. Great, thank you, sir. Thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to item O, advanced planning. We will start with suggested future
We
agenda
got a
items.
few, we got a couple reports.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting ready.
I'm
to
not
get
worried
out
about
of
me,
here.
but you guys will have
Bye,
some
you don't get a
reports.
report. Sorry, superintendent.
Yeah, mine will be brief. Great start to the school year, really exciting. There was a lot of good vibes on school campuses. The cabinet team is sent out to tour and offer extra hands of support at all of our sites on the first day of school. And then we do a debrief at the end of the day to make sure our schools have everything they need. And consistently amongst all the cabinet team members, they were sharing about how welcoming and energized all the campuses were, and how that felt really, really good and improved from, we continue to get 1% better, right? And so that was really exciting to hear. And then Jeanette stole all my thunder about all the people, about my community message, about all the hard work that goes into making sure that's true, all the over summer and behind the scenes work of our certificated classified management employees. So just all the appreciation to them. They'll be featured, I think different groups will be featured in a new series of videos that I'm sending out called Pass the Mic, which I think we'll have one out next week. We focused on our collective commitment, number one, care for people. So we interviewed some students, some staff about what it means to show care for people on the first day of school. And it's pretty cool. So, and to conclude, a special recognition to Linda Thurlow and Dave Bird and their teams in human resources. You heard Jeanette state that there are 1,300 certificated staff in our district. And on the first day of school, there were only 5.6 vacancies. So that was a fill rate of 99.995% of filled vacancies for certificated personnel. So as our 22,000 plus learners came to school the first day, 99.995% of them were greeted by a certificated staff member in their classroom. And that is an incredible outcome. And I just really wanted to share my appreciation to all the members of our HR team for working really, really hard throughout the spring and the summer to make sure our students have a well-qualified smiling face on the first day of school, and then the additional 179 days of the school year. So, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about skipping you.
No, I was more worried about y'all and our students over there, so skip me anytime.
Move on to item N, board member reports. Ms. Waller?
I can only speak towards Cordova High School, but I would say we had a wonderful week last week days coming back to school. We just finished up our Spirit Week. Well, this week is our Spirit Week. We're finishing that up. It was pretty fun. We had White Lies. I would say the students were pretty engaged in that one. And yeah, I believe we have a rally next week for coming back to school. And the football team, I don't know about all the sports, but I know the football team has a game tomorrow at River City. I will be in attendance as med staff. And then I got a message from someone attending Vista Del Lago High School to get a little information on that. This is from Yara Elkier. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, but I'm just gonna read the message verbatim because I messaged everybody who went to different schools because it's important, inclusivity. She says, "My name is Yara Elkier, and I go to Vista Del Lago High School. Currently, as of now, we are in the works of our Superhero Spirit Week, fun, which leads to our Welcome Back rally on the 28th. Next, we just finished up our Kindness Week on campus. And lastly, we are in the works of Club Rush, and we just finished our first club workshop for our various clubs on campus, ranging from culture clubs all the way to academic clubs on campus." And then if Sam would like to share what's going on with Folsom.
Yes, Folsom High also had a really great start to the school year. We are kicking off sports. We had our blue and white scrimmage for football. Stu Gov is going on their annual retreat this weekend. They're leaving on Friday. And it's audition week for the school musical.
Thank you guys for reporting on Vista. That was a very nice touch. I appreciate that. So, very good. All right, Ms. Loftus.
Awesome. I have a short report. I just want to welcome the student board members. Look forward to working with you both this year. And welcome back to everybody and wishing everybody a great school year.
Mr. Clark.
Well, I couldn't be more excited. Being a high school football junkie, you almost gave me a heart attack talking about a game tomorrow. I didn't have that on my schedule. I would like to welcome everybody back for another incredible school year at Folsom Cordova Unified, whether your summer was filled with travel, time with family, friends, adventure, or some well-earned rest. I hope you are returning refreshed, inspired, and ready for an amazing year ahead. Now, as a new school year begins, it means fresh beginnings, new opportunities, countless moments to make a difference in the lives of all of our students. Every classroom, every campus, and every interaction has the power to inspire, encourage, and shape our future. At FCUSD, our greatest strength is our people, our educators, our classified, staff, administrators, and support teams that are the heart of this district. Their passion, dedication, and commitment to excellence creates welcoming schools where every student has the opportunity to thrive. They are mentors, leaders, role models, and champions for our students, and the impact they make each day is extraordinary. Now, as we begin this new school year, I encourage all of us to continue leading with excellence, embracing innovation, championing equity, and supporting one another as we work toward one shared mission. And that is helping every student succeed academically, socially, and emotionally. To our newest team members, teachers and classified staff, welcome to the FCUSD family. We are so glad you're here. To our returning staff, thank you for everything you do to make our district exceptional. Your commitment does not go unnoticed, and I look forward to visiting our schools and seeing the incredible work happening across the district. I would like to extend a special welcome to our two new student board members, Janine and Sam. I am so glad to have you both join us, and I want you to know that I am here to support you in every step of the way this year. And keep in mind, your voices and your dialogue matter. And I look forward to working alongside you on behalf of all FCUSD students. I look forward to visiting the schools and classrooms once again. I'm going to start that tomorrow, probably hobbling in since I have a bad knee, to see the firsthand work already underway across our district. So here's to an outstanding school year filled with learning, growth, collaboration, and success. So let's make this year the best year yet. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Clark.
Awesome.
Mr. Lomachenko.
Oh, Mr. Reed.
Sorry, Mr. Reed. I'm just going to skip you too.
That's fine. Every single school year has a different feel to it. I've noticed over the years, and this one appears to be so far one of the more smooth starts to the school year. I've had a number of conversations with teachers, staff, parents, and everybody generally had a fairly positive start to the school year, which is what you want. It's what you want. Doesn't mean there hasn't been hiccups. Yeah, we know there's hiccups here and there, but when those arise, we work on it and work on addressing it. So, maybe that might be the 99.995% fill rate. Is that a record for us? It feels like a record. Yeah.
I love it.
Well, congratulations on that. And it's been a busy start to the school year. Just this week, we had the two groundbreakings at Cordova Villa and Cordova High School. Really exciting vibes there, seeing mounds of dirt being moved around and the excitement with the administration, the students, the faculty, staff. It's nice to see. So, and it's a testament actually to the Rancho Cordova taxpayers who supported Measure R&S. We couldn't get that done without them. So, past week, I've been also over at Natoma Station and Riverview STEM Academy and Empire Oaks Elementary School. So it's been a busy start there as well. I would like to, I don't know, I was debating on whether this is a suggested future item, but I'm going to probably talk about it here. I agree with the concerns expressed by Mr. Ruiz about the high school graduations. It seemed to happen pretty quickly. I guess I kind of feel that we should do a little bit more study on it. At the very least, consider the possibility of delaying the change for a year. I also, we're going to have at least two new high schools coming on board in a fairly short order. And, if the goal is to have, be more inclusive for the board, I don't think we should be more inclusive for the board. You have a situation. What are we going to do? We're going to have a high school graduation on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We're not going to do that. I think pretty confident we're not going to do that. Maybe there's an opportunity to look at morning graduations. So you pair a high school graduation on a Saturday morning, on a Friday morning and Friday night, Thursday morning, Thursday night. But with 3 comprehensive high schools and 2 more high schools coming on board in, within the next couple of years, I think we should look at some other options as well. So I know it wasn't a board decision; it was an administrative decision. But if there's an opportunity for the administration to just revisit that and just have a little conversation about, what are potential other options, I'd appreciate that. That is all I have for board report tonight.
Thank you. All right, you're up.
Awesome. I'm up. Well, I want to wholeheartedly welcome our 2 new partners. Welcome, colleagues. So as Mr. Clark was saying, yes, we really, really want to collaborate and hear, because you are the voice for the 2,200 kids. And thanks for adding that Vista Del Lago update too. I have been wondering about that. When 2 board members are there, what happened to the 3rd high school, right? But thank you. Again, continue doing that if it is possible. Welcome back, everyone. I know for all the teachers and classified staff and the leadership team and our administrators too. I think I'm going to echo what Mr. Eric Swanson said, filling all the vacancies is not that easy. It is. Thank you, David, and pass on the wholehearted congratulations to all your team members as well. Welcome back. First day has been a very fun day. I visited a few schools, some high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools, but I want to call out one incident which touched me so closely. Several incidents touched me, but this one. A kindergarten kid is walking to the classroom. His dog don't want to let him go to the school. The dog is catching him. He's saying, no, you can't go to school. It is stopping him literally going to the classroom. So that, hilarious because they have been there 6 weeks, 7 weeks together, and all of a sudden he's going somewhere. So that's a cute one for a kindergarten kid. I love that one. And also, I just want to call out Mr. Huber, your leadership team at the sites. It has been very visible, greeting the parents and welcoming the new kids. And one story, I have been talking to parents, and one fourth grade kid was saying, oh my God, the principal came and opened the car door for me. That's a highlight. You know what I mean? So the next day, the assistant principal came and opened the door. What I mean to say that one, people are observing when our people are there, especially during those chaos moments. So please pass down that to all your leadership team for each site. I can only vouch for one or two, but that is happening across the board as well. And also, our groundbreaking is a fun activity. Rancho Cordova, go Rancho Cordova. They're getting new buildings as well. I was sharing that with some of the Folsom people. They're saying, when do we get our upgrades? Well, in 2028, when the bond passes. Rightfully, they passed, $280 million worth of things. I just want to, it's not that I want to bring this one, Mr. Reese and David's point. I live in that area predominantly. That evening was quite a few phone calls and messages is flying through our inboxes because it is easy for the constituents and they hear from the principal. Mr. Swanson, I know this is your part of the work. Please take a moment again, work with your great leaders. And I forgot totally what David said. He brought a great point. We have 2 more high schools coming. What do we do? So please think about it. And those high schools are coming very fast because you and Sean are doing excellent job for that, Three Rivers and all those things. Okay, I just want to bring that to your attention one more time because we represent the people and we are passing that voice to you directly. With that, welcome everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to our new student board members. We're excited to have you at our CSBA conference in San Diego. Unfortunately, our board members all had to go to Sacramento. So you guys definitely have an upgrade. So yeah, great first couple weeks of school. Thank you so much to all of our staff and teachers doing amazing work for us and for our students. Just one little bit of exciting things is there's actually going to be a America 250 truck delivering about 115,000 pounds of food for nonprofits down at the Capitol on Tuesday. And our honor guard was selected to be able to come out and post the colors in front of our elected officials, assemblymen and congressmen and everything like that. So we are very excited for them to be able to be down there, and it's at 10 a.m. So if anyone's down in the downtown area, definitely roll by and check out our honor guard from Cordova High School. And with that, we will move on to advanced planning and suggested future agenda items. Is there anything that we want to add?
Nothing for the agenda. However, I am going to ask the superintendent and the staff to look into the buddy program at Cordova. As you all know, that those, my babies with special needs are very, very important to me. And from what I understand, that program was cut. I know that some of the students in general ed look forward to working with our students. So I just kind of need an update from you and Eric, to the board of what are we doing to enhance, I guess, inclusivity with our special need kids. So that's it, but nothing on the agenda.
Okay, a couple clarifications. I believe it's the Buddy PE program, correct?
Yes.
Yep, absolutely. And then we'll do some research and get back to the board. And is that okay if that comes out in the Friday board update as?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, sir.
Board Member Clark, can you elaborate a little more, educate me on what exactly happened?
Yeah, the Buddy program is with some of our general ed students that partner with our students that are in special needs in their PE class to just kind of work with them and, just be there for them as extra support. And from what I understand, that program was kind of cut. But our special needs students need that.
Yeah.
I've witnessed it firsthand, and it's actually a great program for those kids to interact with our gen ed students.
I'd say our general ed students need it too.
If I could cut in and offer my opinion, I support what Clark is saying. Like, a lot of my friends were in that program, and like even the general ed kids like get a lot of enjoyment. Like the people who came and supported me, some of them were in it, and they like genuinely enjoy doing that. So it's good for everybody.
If I may also chime in, I took the Sunshine Program at Folsom High School, and I was a part of it, and I would say it was definitely really beneficial to get to work with the special needs kids, and it's a new perspective, and it's a different experience, and it was definitely very helpful.
Appreciate all that from everyone. Mr. Stricker's here. We'll do some research and we'll report back to the board.
Yeah, and can we also check if we've eliminated at Cordova, what's happening at Vista and Folsom as well? If we can get an update on that as well.
You got it?
That would be helpful.
Yep.
Yeah, we have a question in the audience.
Get a mic, sorry. Yeah, I apologize. Just for the YouTubers out there that want to hear your voice.
I don't know why. The program has been cut, but the medically fragile students have been added to the general education portion, which makes that class extremely large. So Tracy is looking into that with, just because there's some contract issues with it and other things, but they're within the window. So anyways, but we're more concerned about the safety of those 14 individuals who are joining the gen ed classroom and making sure that the teacher is supported and that there's actual adequate space for everybody to be there. So there's more than just the buddy program being eliminated because they just got put into the gen ed classroom.
Okay. Yeah, I actually plan on hanging out at Cordova for a few tomorrow, so just look around. But normally when I'm there, the first place I go is to our special ed classes, so.
I think from what I understood, that class is sitting at about 45 approximate students
Okay.
in that class.
We will check it all out and get a report. I would say within probably next Friday, I'll be able to have a report in the Friday board update for you guys. Yep.
Anything else? Anything from you? Okay, fantastic. All right, then next up is our board agenda 12-month calendar for review. And then number 3 is our next board meeting, which will be September 3rd of 2026. And we do need to go back to closed session. So with that, we will go ahead and recess back to closed session.
Awesome.
Welcome back to open session. Superintendent, anything to report out of closed session?
Nothing to report.
With that, we will go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Thank you.